Meren of clan Nel Toth is a human necromancer from the plane of Alara. She is known for utilizing the graveyard and breaking parity from the stack's effects. For 2 colorless, a green and a black, you get a 3/4 human shaman with a passive ability. Whenever another creature you control dies, you get an experience counter. And at the beginning of your end step, choose target creature card in your graveyard. If that card's converted mana cost is less than or equal to the number of experience counters you have, return it to the battlefield. Otherwise, put it into your hand. We run 31 lands. Especially fetch lands to fix the mana and to shuffle the deck from the effect of Sylvan Library. Dryad Arbor. 4 green suns zenith target, a good target for Sylvan Safekeeper to ramp up the experience counters when Meren is on the field. We also run utilities such as Phyrexian Tower, a good sacrifice engine and mana producer. And Nurturing Peatland to sacrifice it when we have enough mana and need to draw. Mana ramp. In the form of artifacts, creatures, and enchantments, to speed up our turn 1 and 2 plays. Also the mana dorks are good sacrifice targets at the late stages of the game. Stacks. We run these cards to slow down our opponents and to provide hand advantage denial, so our opponents can't interact when we attempt to combo out. We use cards like Liliana of the Veil. In the form of creatures we run Cabal Therapist, Mind Slicer, and Collector Off. For artifact form we run Null Rod, Smokestacks, and Tangle Wire. And for the enchantment form we run Root Maze, Bottomless Pit, and Contamination. Tutors. These cards will give us consistency and speed. It will help us stay relevant at every stages of the game. Card advantage. To give us extra cards and help dig the cards that we need. Best option is Sylvan Library and Dark Confidant cause greatness at any cost. Recursion. These cards will help us get the cards from the graveyard to hand. The best recursion of this deck is Eternal Witness. You can sack Eternal Witness every turn and with Meren's end step trigger revive it again. Removals. These cards will help us answer the threats our opponents has or answer the hate cards that shuts us down. Cards like Rest in Peace, Cursed Totem, and even Mind Sensor like effects. Engines. These cards will help and synergize with our commander. It can be a great top deck since most of the time all of the players will not have hand cards due to Mind Slicer like effects. Birthing Pod. Can help us fetch the creatures we need at the moment or our Winkin. It is also a good sacrifice fodder to gain some experience counter. Grim Flayer. Great in arranging our top deck and it also helps us dump creatures or cards we don't need into the graveyard. Rasaketh. The Foul-Blooded, best paired with Life, to sack creatures and fetch the cards that will win us the game or answers when we are locked by our opponents. Yawgmoth, Thran Physician. The best sacrifice fodder in the deck. It can be a great creature control asset or card advantage. It is also best paired with Meren to ramp up our experience counter and return the creature that Yawgmoth sacrificed. Wincon. First Wincon is Protean Hulk line. With Protean Hulk's death trigger, we search for Lesser Manticore, Melora, Carrion Feeder, Discipul of the Vault. Sacrifice Lesser Manticore. Persist will trigger without -1/-1 because of Melora's passive ability. Then Disciple of the Vault will trigger. And you can do it until you can kill your opponents. Protean Hulk second line. With the death trigger of Protean Hulk. Fetch Body Snatcher, Carrion Feeder, Sylvan Safekeeper, and Dryad Arbor. In response to Body Snatcher ETB trigger, sacrifice Body Snatcher, then Body Snatcher's death will trigger, target Protean Hulk and revive it. Sacrifice Protean Hulk. With Protean Hulk's death trigger, we search for Lesser Manticore, Melora, Discipul of the Vault. Sacrifice Lesser Manticore. Persist will trigger without -1/-1 because of Melora's passive ability. Then Disciple of the Vault will trigger, and you can do it until you can kill your opponents.
The second line can guarantee protection using Sylvan Safekeeper.
Hulk line using Rasa Keth. Sacrifice a creature, search for life and cast it, sack a land and fetch for Lion's Eye Diamond, sack a land and fetch for Protean Hulk, cast Lion's Eye Diamond, use its mana ability and discard Protean Hulk, sacrifice a land and search for Veil of Summer and cast it, sacrifice a creature and search for Animate Dead and reanimate Protean Hulk, sacrifice Protean Hulk and search for reanimate just in case they stop Protean Hulk. Then Protean Hulk's death triggers, then do the Protean Hulk line. You can also do these by using Eternal Witness instead of life. Squirrel's Nest and Earthcraft combo. With these we can make infinite squirrel tokens and attack next turn for game. Or win via a big amount of life using Plunge into Darkness. This is also a good sacrifice outlet and a good alternative combo if in case we are locked out by our opponent. We can also assemble this combo using Rasa Keth, same path as the Hulk line, but we search Squirrelcraft instead. There are other Winkins that can be used in this deck that I did not use. The Necrotic Ooze combo uses the abilities of the creatures in the graveyard that produces an infinite loop. With cards like Phyrexian Devourer and Walking Ballista. The Machias and Triskelion combo. This combo can unleaping the opponents to death. The Infinite Loose Life combo. This combo uses Melora, Lesser Manticore, Yawgmoth, and Blood Artist-like effect to drain opponents' life to death. Overall, Meren is a fun competitive commander that utilizes the graveyard. In the end, it's the player's taste on how Meren should be built. If you like to check for the full deck list used in the video, please see the description, we have included the link there. To support us, please like, subscribe and ring the notification bell to keep you notified on the videos that we will upload. Tune in for our next deck probe. If you have deck probe request, comment down below and stay tuned if your request will be featured in the Plane of Magic.